Retire at the wrong time and you could end up right back at work. And instead of doing a job you really enjoy, you might be doing something just to make ends meet. I've seen it happen, and as a financial advisor, it's one of the last things I'd ever want my clients to experience. But there's a simple way to avoid this mistake. It all comes down to 3 key numbers. And once you know them, you'll know if you're truly ready to retire with confidence. Hi, I'm Josh Palmer, Director of Financial Planning with the Noble Group. I'm a certified financial planner and have more than 2 decades of experience in the financial industry. Retiring is easy. Retiring with confidence is more difficult, but it's incredibly important. You want to know you're able to retire independently without being a financial burden on your family or friends. Now, when it comes to money in retirement, I hear a lot of people say, I need $2 million, or I need 10 times my current salary. Now, those kinds of numbers can be a good starting point, but they're not unique to you. So instead of looking for one general number, today I want to show you how to calculate 3 numbers unique to you that can reveal what you truly need for a retirement that works for you. So what are these 3 numbers? The first number is your retirement expenses. Now, before you just throw a number out there, take a moment to think about what you want to be doing. What does retirement look like to you and your family? Are you traveling around the world? Are you looking for your dream vacation home? Are you buying a luxury car you've always wanted? Maybe you're planning on contributing to your grandkids' college funds or donating to a local charity. Whatever your answer is will determine a large part of your expenses. Now, there are 2 approaches we can take to calculate this. The first approach is pretty traditional. You're sitting down and literally listing out every single expense you'll have, line by line, once you hit retirement. Now, this approach could give you a very accurate number, but the downside is that it's very time consuming. So here's a second option. Instead of starting with your retirement expenses, you're going to use your current income as a baseline number and work from there to determine what your number for retirement would be. You might be saying to yourself, you know what, Josh, my retirement lifestyle isn't going to change that much from my lifestyle right now. Well, this approach works really well if you're in that situation, because if your current income is supporting your current lifestyle, we can be pretty confident that the same amount should also be able to support your retirement lifestyle. But even if your retirement lifestyle and therefore your expenses will be a little bit different, we can adjust our need to determine our required income. First, let's look at any expenses you have right now that you won't have once you hit retirement. You'll subtract those from your current income. Then you'll think about any expenses you'll have in retirement that you don't have now. You'll add those to your income. So what does this look like? Let's use Jim and Catherine as an example. Let's say they have $12,000 hitting their checking account each month. That's their starting retirement income need. However, we discovered that they are paying $3,000 per month in principal and interest on their mortgage that will be paid off by the time they retire. So now their retirement replacement income is $9,000. We also discovered they were saving $1,000 per month to their investment accounts and their kids' 529s. So we'll remove that from their retirement income replacement amount, and we see that Jim and Catherine need about $8,000 per month to maintain their current lifestyle. Now let's see what additional expenses they'll have once they hit retirement. With the extra time they'll have without work, they'll want to travel more. So we'll add $1,000 per month for travel and fun money that they might want to use on anything else. This brings their total need to $9,000 per month to cover their expenses. So to recap, use your take-home income today, minus expenses that won't be there in retirement, and add anything new you'll want to do in retirement. So the first number is your retirement expenses. Your second number is your retirement income. Now, when I say retirement income, I mean income from fixed sources, not investment income. This would include Social Security, a pension if you have one, and rental income. In this case, we want to determine the total after-tax income you will have, the amount that's actually hitting your bank account on a regular basis. The reason we're looking for this is we want to calculate your income shortfall. When we take away our retirement income from our retirement expenses, what's left? That number is our income shortfall, and we'll use it to help us determine your third number. But before we do that, let's first calculate Jim and Catherine's retirement income. They don't have any pensions and they don't own any rental properties, but they told us they will receive about $5,500 a month from Social Security. Now let's calculate their shortfall. Remember, they'll have $9,000 per month in expenses, and we just calculated that their monthly income will be $5,500. So we take $9,000 minus $5,500, and we see their shortfall is $3,500. Okay, now that we have their shortfall, let's use it to help us determine the third number, and that's their retirement savings. We can actually work backwards to see how much you'll need in retirement savings to meet your goals. Now, there's a lot of different ways to calculate this, but a good general rule to follow is called the 4% rule. Now, we have a separate video on this rule you can watch here, But in short, it says that we can withdraw 4% from your portfolio annually, and it should still be able to withstand the market ups and downs to last through your lifetime, maybe 30 plus years. So for Jim and Catherine, we calculated they need $3,500 per month to make up their income shortfall. $3,500 per month times 12 gives us a $42,000 annual shortfall. So using the 4% rule, we'll take $42,000 divided by 4%, and we get $1,050,000. Now this is a great calculation, but there's one step further we can take this to get a more precise number, and it comes down to taxes. The way that Jim and Catherine's portfolio is constructed from a tax impact perspective will require adjustments to this number. Is any of their portfolio in tax-free accounts such as Roth IRAs? Is any of it in tax-deferred accounts such as 401ks? Is any of it in taxable accounts such as joint investment accounts? The answer here could make a big difference. For example, in Jim and Catherine's case, they have a majority of their retirement savings in a couple of 401ks and traditional IRAs. Well, these accounts are subject to tax when Jim and Catherine start withdrawing money from them. If they're in the 20% tax bracket, when they start taking this money out, only 80% of that withdrawal will actually go towards their income shortfall. So out of a $3,500 withdrawal, only $2,800 of that is actually hitting their bank account. So how do we calculate the actual amount we'll need to withdraw? Well, we'll take the percentage of money we'll be receiving after taxes are taken out and divide our income shortfall by that number. So for Jim and Catherine, we'll take $3,500, their income shortfall, divided by 80%, the percentage of withdrawal they'll actually get after it's taxed at 20%, and we see they'll need to withdraw $43.75 each month to cover their $3,500 a month shortfall. So now we know Jim and Catherine's actual withdrawal amount needed to support their retirement income. Let's take that number and reapply it to the 4% rule. $43.75 times 12 gets us an annual need of $52,500. We divide that by 4% and we see that Jim and Catherine would need $1,312,500 in savings to account for taxes owed. Okay, we now have all three numbers calculated and they're unique to you. So to answer the question of whether you're financially ready to retire, ask yourself, does the savings amount we just calculated line up with what you actually have saved? If so, you're probably in a pretty good spot to retire. Jim and Catherine have about $1.5 million saved up. So when we calculated that they need about $1.3 million to live a comfortable retirement, this gave them confidence they were ready to do it. Now, if you're not yet at that savings number, it doesn't mean all hope is lost. You may just need a little more time to build up your portfolio to what you need. And there are many more financial planning decisions beyond these three numbers that can help you get to where you want to be. And if you want to get a personalized look at your finances, whether you think you're ready to retire now or you're not there yet, click the link in the description. We'll review your financial situation in a custom video recorded just for you. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.